Hello, Julie here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to share with you how I created a layout for the February challenge at Mystical Scrapbooks. The theme this month is sketches and I have designed a sketch for this particular challenge, and the other thing that you have to do for this challenge is use some chipboard that you have altered in some way. The papers I'm using for this layout come from Kaisercraft's Time Machine paper range, and this particular paper is called Mechanism. I'm going for a masculine layout. The photos are of my husband's 3 motorbikes that he currently has, so I'm looking for something mechanical and masculine. So to start with, I'm going to tear about a 1/2 inch strip of this paper. I used 2 different sheets, but I could have used the same sheet. I didn't realise at the time that it was the same paper, but anyway, it worked out fine in the end. So I'm tearing a sheet that's about a 1/2 inch wide, and then I'm tearing one that's about 2 inches wide. I want the white torn edge to show on the side that I want to be up. I tear 2 strips of each colour because I want one set of strips to go down each side of the white background cardstock. As I said, one of the components of this challenge is to alter some chipboard to use on your layout. So I've got Dusty Addict's Cog border number 3, and I also have Memory Maze Live Every Adventure chipboard. I'm going to coat both of those with some silver acrylic paint. To further alter my chipboard, I'm going to use some of this texture paint. It's it's got like a sand in it. The colour is cocoa brown, and I'm just going to add that to edges here and there, so it looks a bit like rust, and it does have, as I said, like a sandy feel to it, so it feels like bumps of rust when you run your fingers over it. I'm just adding this rusty look to the Dusty Attic chipboard. The Memory Maze chipboard, I'm just painting with the silver metallic paint and just leaving that as it is. I've set my chipboard aside to dry, and now I'm going to attach my pattern paper to the edges of my background sheet. I'm just using double-sided tape to do that. To help my photos stand out from the mats, I've used an emery board and filed around the edge of each of them. Now I'm going to use double-sided tape to mat them onto some of that same pattern paper, the name of which is Mechanism. I'm going to use the dark side of the paper. Now that my chipboard's dry, I'm going to use some art glitter glue to attach that chipboard. I'm going to sort of tuck it under the inside edge of the torn dark pattern paper. Now it's time to attach my photos. I have attached some scrap chipboard to the backs of my photo mats, and I'm going to use my liquid glue to attach these to my layout. Now I'm going to stagger them or offset each one so that the top one and the third one line up and the second one and the bottom one line up. I'm using my T-ruler to make sure that I get them straight. Probably not necessary, but just something that I thought I would try and make sure happened. When my husband does up these motorbikes, he is fairly precise, and so I thought that I'd try and make sure that that element got into it in some way or another. For a little bit of extra grunge, I wanted to add some splatters to the background, so I watered down some black acrylic paint and used my fan brush to add some splatters. I covered up my photos with a bit of scrap paper before I did that. I also had some of the uniquely creative silver metal cogs that I had. Even though they were silver, they were much too shiny and I wanted to tone them down, so I gave them a coat of the silver paint. Well, I decided that I wanted to put some black elements onto the 2 green strips going down the edge of my page. So I painted over some of the chain links and some of the metal cogs with black acrylic paint, just so that they would stand out better on my green side panels. Time now to add my metal and chipboard cogs to my layout to embellish it. I'm going to use my art glitter glue once again. Some of the cogs are going to sit on top of the photos, so I'm going to tuck another cog underneath that so that it sits flat, and some of the metal ones are going to just sort of sit on top of each other. So I wondered whether they would stick, but using the art glitter glue, they stuck perfectly and I didn't have any problem whatsoever. I'm going to stick the silver ones down on the photos down the centre of the layout, and I'm going to use the black embellishments on the sides. For my title, I used my Kaisercraft alphabet uppercase dies and cut the word toys from the darker side of the pattern paper, and I wanted them to sort of sit half off the bottom photo and half on the bottom photo, but I didn't want them to be on different levels, so I cut a piece of acetate and then used my liquid glue to attach my title to the acetate. This way I could put some foam behind the letters and have them sit at the same level, and you don't really even see the acetate there at all. So that's the way I got over the fact that I wanted those that title to sit level over the motorbike photos, and the motorbike photos are of course mounted on chipboard. To give my title a nice high gloss shine, I've given it a good coat of glossy accents. This goes on murky but dries completely clear. And that completes my layout for today. As I said, this is for the Mystical Scrapbooks February challenge, which is a sketch and also to use altered chipboard. So I'll put a link in the description box below to that challenge, and I'll also put a link to my blog which will have all of the details about this layout if there's anything more you want to know. Thank you for spending part of your day here with me today. I hope you've enjoyed watching my video, and I hope you try and perhaps even enter the challenge. There are prizes to be won. So if you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe, give me a like, and I'll see you in my next video.